As you can see, this Western horse wants to go forward and do some things, but we still have the same expectations. The rider will think about the Lope aids at pylon 1, ask at pylon 2, and produce at pylon 3. Here we have a horse on the correct lead, horse is going forward, rider's riding the rhythm. She's going to do the same thing when she gets back. Think about it at the first pylon, start to ask at the second one, and bring her down at the third one. Because this horse is more forward moving, it took her a little bit longer to bring the horse down, but the important part was she applied the aids correctly and she did not jerk the horse down. She waited for the horse to come back to her. In Rider 4, we are expecting our riders to be able to shape their horses up and be able to produce a back, either one-handed or two-handed, that is continuous and flowing. Notice the English rider's position. She has a choice of either being straight or tip slightly forward. Reins, 2 direct reins, and notice those hands are ahead of her numna or saddle blanket. She will use her legs and slowly and calmly ask the horse to back up with his legs moving in diagonal pairs. Once we have practice collection and we can get the horse to drive up from behind and soften at the withers and the poll, we're now ready to go. Trot, halt, back up. Watch this rider's hands and legs as he goes into the halt. Not much pull on the hands, stop the horse with his legs, and right into back up. And he's going to go around and do it again. And this time, I want you to watch the horse. As he comes down this line, he is going to actually put his legs on the horse and really make her drive up behind before he asks her to stop. As she's stopping, you should see her hind legs drive up underneath her. You should see her soft at the withers, soft at the poll, and she should stop with very little effort on his part. So what is this thing called collection? It certainly seems to cause us lots of aggravation. But if you want to do anything with your horse other than just putz along on him, he needs some aspect of collection. So what actually happens? Here's an exercise for you. Get down on the ground on your hands and knees. Make a big space, as big as you can, between your knees and your hands. What happens to your back? Your back goes down. What happens when you try to move your hands only, like moving sideways with just your hands and keeping your knees basically where they are? That's very hard to do because your back has sunk and you have no strength to lift that front end up. Well, that is exactly what happens to the horse. And a horse that is not collected or is strung out, they have great difficulty in stopping, turning, loping or cantering, jumping, anything that requires any type of athletic ability. Now, while you're down there on your hands and knees, now move your hands and knees much closer together. What happens to your back? Your back arches up like a cat. And in doing so, now, if you want to move your hands, you can quite easily. You can sit up pretty like a dog. You can turn left or right quite easily. So this is why we want collection. It allows the horse to move that front end. That front end is much heavier than the back end because the horse has a head and a neck. All right? So how do we get to collection? What we're going to do to get collection, the first thing we're going to see this rider do is start to put her legs on the horse and get the horse to reach up with its hind legs so its hind legs are closer to its front legs. Once she has that happening, she will start to bend. You did bend in rider 3, so that's an inside direct rein, maybe a little bit of rein of opposition, an outside support rein, and press and release with the inside leg. So the horse is going forward with some bend around the inside leg, so the ribs are moving slightly to the outside and the horse's head is tipped slightly to the inside. Once the horse is doing this willingly, she's going to start and use that outside support rein. So she's now going to use both legs, drive the horse's hind legs up, but both hands coming back and drive the horse so its chin will now come towards its chest. It's reaching forward with its hind legs and it's starting to arch its back. Don't expect your horse to stay in this shape for a long period of time because it's very hard work. So at every rider level thus far, we have worked on this flexion of the horse's head and neck. Now, in these upper rider levels, we're expecting this rider to be able to bend that horse's head to the inside. So he's going to use either a direct or an open rein or even a rein of opposition to get that horse looking to the inside. Notice he's not going to yield with his outside rein now. He's going to bring that horse's chin towards the point of its shoulder. Notice his legs, he's keeping the horse moving forward, and he's going to ask for that horse with the outside rein to bring her chin in even more and find that sweet spot right at the point of the shoulder. So it's a very delicate balance between too much and not enough inside rein and outside rein. More outside Colton now, because now she's overbending to the inside. There you go. Good, and we'll see him go forward now and do the same thing and bend her to the outside. So same circle, same direction. Outside rein's going to tip her head slightly to the outside, inside leg. Going to keep her going forward, and he's going to jiggle those reins and find that sweet spot where that chin comes towards the point of that outside shoulder. When he can do that, then he's ready for the big test. He's going to let her go forward again, create a little bit more energy, and bend her to the inside again. And this time, after he gets her bent to the inside, he's going to slowly add more outside support rein, slowly lessen the inside, and bring her chin dead center at 12 o'clock. Notice his legs. He continually asks her to go forward. See the mare's chin coming down? And he just plays with those reins and presses her forward and presses her forward. And when she gives like that, he releases and pats her because it was a job well done. We're going to watch the rider now. He's going to pick up his inside right hand and he's going to bend the horse slightly to the inside. Notice he's supporting with his outside rein, and he's just going to push her around in the circle. Then he's going to loosen up and he's going to bend her to the outside. If your horse will not do this, just turn around and go the other direction. So this is a bit of a reverse arc bend. So he's bending her in, he's bending her out. Why is he doing this? Notice he's using his legs all the time. So he's driving her hind end further up underneath her. If we want this horse collected, the first thing that has to happen is he will change the bend again so we don't get her tired. He will first of all use his legs and get the hind end reaching up. He will then bend her in, bend her out until she feels very soft and supple. As you've noticed, she hasn't given him a lot of grief. Then, when he feels that she's soft and supple, he will actually use both of his legs, drive her hind feet up as much as he can, and he will support with both his hands, move her chin right to 12 o'clock, and lift her up in the middle. There, look at that horse. Drive up behind, round her back, and go forward softly, and then he will slowly yield to her. Loosen his reins, loosen his legs, and just sit calmly. And notice how much further now she's reaching up behind and how soft she is. When the horse is non-resistant, both legs, both reins, straighten the horse right out and really drive that horse's hind end up underneath it. Hold for 2 or 3 steps, drive it up, release a little bit, do it again. Drive it up, hold for 2 or 3 steps, release again. And we're going to do that several times so you can see this, because this is what the English call a half halt and the Western call a check rein. It just helps rebalance the horse. He will drive her up first, support with both hands, hold her for 1 or 2 steps, and release her. And we're going to do it one more time. And you can see how this horse actually gets floaty with her legs because he's driving her up so much. Start with your legs first, then support with your hands. Do it for 1 or 2 steps, and then release. So here we have our English rider demonstrating. Turn on the forehand with the straight spine. Now she has him tipped slightly to the inside, so she will start using more outside rein to straighten him out and just keep pushing with that same leg. Here we see our English rider preparing her horse to do a leg yield. So she's chasing him forward with her legs, getting energy, driving him up. And when she gets that, she will now apply her left leg, 2 direct reins, and push the horse sideways for several steps. Okay, and there, we got 1 step. So this is going to be a learning process. The horse is going to resist in the beginning and will have some difficulty. So in that case, the horse blocked. So she's just going to have to get stronger with her legs when she comes back. So we're going to get the horse to come forward with energy. And here she's starting to push him over. And pushing him over. Left leg is making him go forward. Right leg is asking him to cross over behind. And there, we got a half a step. Okay, our Western rider's ready to go. And around the corner she goes, creating energy, driving the horse up behind, getting it bent a little bit around her leg. And now she'll start 2 direct reins. And the horse is bent too much, so she's going to straighten it out again and get her leg back, support the front end, and push the horse over a little bit. There, that's closer to what we need. Good job. By rider 4, our leg yield should have advanced, so the horse will now be able to do it with a straight spine. The key to that is the rider's left rein in this case. It is going to be used as a rein of opposition, and he's going to block the shoulder a little bit. Notice now the horse's spine is straight, it is still moving forward and sideways. The next challenge is to do it off of a straight line. Here we have the rider coming around the corner, and as he comes towards us, you will notice at first he will tip her head towards his active leg. That is certainly adequate. Then, as time goes on, he will straighten her head out with his support rein and still ask her to move forward and sideways. A side pass is a maneuver in which the horse moves sideways, crossing his outside leg in front of his inside leg. And that's both his front feet and his hind legs. So here we have a rider that's preparing her horse to side pass. An easy way to introduce the side pass is to use the leg yield on the fence that you just have practiced. You do exactly the same thing, except push the horse's hip until it is about at 90-degree angle to the fence. As you look at this rider, you can see she has her horse ready to do something. What she's going to do is a little bit more advanced side pass. We already saw the horse side passing with his head bent slightly towards the rider's active leg. Now the horse is going to do it with a straight spine. We're still expecting it to cross front and hind, nice and soft. Rider's using 2 direct reins or a direct rein and a support rein. The next exercise that we're going to do is also an introduction to collection. This is an introduction to the advanced turn on the forehand. So you already know how to do the turn on the forehand. You learned that in Rider 3. In Rider 4, you did the turn on the forehand with the front legs still and the back legs moving with the horse's spine straight. Now you're going to try the most advanced form of it. This is very difficult. This horse, as I said, is a junior horse. It certainly hasn't done this skill very much. So you're going to see a little bit of a struggle here between the horse and rider. It's not going to be easy, and likely it's not going to be pretty. Our objective in using this horse is to show you how difficult it is and how much patience you need to produce it. So step 1, ride the horse forward in that emergency stop circle, but make it a little bigger. His inside hand is going to stay direct. His outside hand is actually probably going to support and be a little bit off the horse so he can find that sweet spot for her nose right opposite her right point of her shoulder. There, she's got it. When she gets that, he will then stop the horse and just wait for her to relax in that position. When she relaxes, he'll start to use his outside left leg and try to push her hip towards her nose. Nice and soft and patient, and he's just going to wait, and this is going to take a while. And he got a half a step there, and he's going to ask again. So he's sitting heavy on his left seat bone, softening his right rein a little bit, or she's going to move her front end. He's going to pull a little bit more on that left rein, but keep her head my way and wait for that horse to move her hip a little bit this way. So again, we'll just wait till it happens, and she's trying to go forward, and he'll just wait and soften and breathe and just keep asking her. His left leg will go way back, and he'll just touch her softly. There, we got her to move her hip a little bit. So we'll just let her go forward and try it all over again because she did give a little bit. So he did a good job of that. So your riders are going to have to be oh so patient to make this happen. You notice he is carrying a whip in his outside hand. He's not beating her. He's just asking her gently with his outside leg, and when she kind of gets stuck, he'll just tap her lightly with that whip. He's not going to hit her, and you see he obviously didn't hit her the last time or she would have jumped. So there, he's got her going forward. She's bent softly to the bit, so she's in that C shape. Inside hand is direct, outside hand is supporting. Anytime he wants to, he will bring her to a stop and just jiggle and stay soft in that position. Once she's down there and soft, he'll sit a little heavier on his left seat bone and let her feel him bring his left leg back, and he'll push that hip over. And tap her with the whip a little bit and keep her head to the right. So he'll just wait and be patient. And there we go, and release. So it's really important, if that horse gives you that effort to move 1 or 2 steps, you as the coach have to be there and make sure that the rider releases, because there's no way that he's going to get 3 or 4 crossovers this first time. Everybody loves to turn on the haunches. It's a fun exercise. When the horse turns on his haunches, basically, hind feet stay still, front end moves. It's not quite as simple as that, but we all sure love it. And we all sure love to watch the reiners when they spin. The turn on the haunches is a lead up to spinning. So how do we make this happen? There are many ways, but here's a way that's pretty easy for everyone to learn. Step one, ride that circle that we've been riding so much. Get a little band off the inside leg, get the horse driving up from behind, and now the rider's going to open that inside rein. Make sure that that horse follows her nose. If she doesn't know how to follow her nose, then we're going to have trouble. So he's going to bring that nose around to about 2 o'clock and keep kicking her and chasing her in that circle till she's nice and soft and relaxed like that. When she achieves that, then he has to make sure that she can cross her front legs. That leg with the red boot on has to cross in front of the other leg to do this skill correctly. So he's now going to do what is called a reverse arc band. Drive the horse forward, rein of opposition on the outside going towards his inside shoulder, keeping her trotting forward, tipping her head to the outside, using his outside leg to band her the wrong way. And if you look at her feet, you can see that red boot crossing over in front of her solid colored leg. Once that's happened, really important that you don't try now to do a turn on the haunches because the horse is totally turned in the wrong direction. He's going to ride her forward again and get her in the correct shape again. So again, inside direct rein, inside leg, get her looking slightly to the inside of the circle and driving up from behind. When that happens, he'll let her come down into a walk circle. He'll open his inside rein, add the outside rein and leg, and chase her around 2 or 3 steps and go forward again, right back into that jog circle. So there we saw what it was about. We saw the rider shape the horse correctly. He's going to do it again, and as he does it, this time we're going to watch that green boot. That is her pivot leg. It should basically stay still. So we'll watch the boot this time. So he's going to open the door on the inside, leg and rein, close the door on the outside, slowly bring her around, and she should keep that green foot pretty still and ride her forward again. And this time we're going to watch his hands, and we're going to watch how slowly they move, how his inside hand's going to open the door, and his inside leg is also going to open to invite her to go that way. Outside rein becomes indirect and touches the neck. Outside leg asks her to turn around, and away he goes forward again. So we never turn the horse until it gets stuck. As soon as it gives us 2 or 3 or 4 crossovers and it's nice and calm, we just ride forward again. Then we'll bring her down to a stop and give her a pat. Once we have mastered the lope in the circle and we've done some lead changes, now we're ready to try it on a figure 8. So what is a figure 8? You already know from Rider 3. It is 2 circles joined together with a straight line. We have the straight line marked with cones. So this time you're going to see our rider. She's got her horse bent at the red cone. She will bring him down to a sitting trot and try